Okay, let's try this on for size. GLAAD is currently going after, what's his name, Roland Martin, who I loved on Laugh-In. We worked with this guy at CNN. He's absolutely harmless because he's such a dope. But he's a bad guy. He's just a bad guy. But he's harmless because you see him coming a mile away. You see him coming, you're like, really, Roland? You think that you're fooling anybody? You're a clown. So he got on, I guess, during the Super Bowl and tweeted that if anybody was turned on by the Beckham ad, the underwear ad, that if it's guy is, that you should beat the blank out of him. Well, gee, now that's an interesting thought. I don't understand that exactly. So wait a minute. Are you saying that if somebody is excited about the underwear ad, that you should beat them? Is that because? How do you mean that? Because they're gay? What is that?
I mean, that's of course exactly what he meant.
That's exactly. Now he says it's about soccer. That's the most ridiculous thing. I bash soccer.
It's about soccer.
I don't even understand. I don't even understand that. I don't even understand.
Okay, Roland.
Nice try.
Okay. Okay. So now here's
talking about soccer. I don't like soccer people.
And I read some things that he has said in the past about gays, and if they're in a context, the guy clearly has issues. Clearly has issues. However, I think it's GLAAD that wants him fired now from CNN. GLAAD, you should have been on this bandwagon a long time ago on, getting him fired for CNN. There's a myriad of reasons to getting him fired from CNN. He's an idiot. But I have to stand, unfortunately, with him and say, you don't fire people for what they say in their personal life or what they happen to believe. You fire them because they're idiots.
No, but that's where we are. In part because of the world that Roland Martin has helped create.
Yes.
Oh, don't think that party didn't happen in my head.
Yeah.
When I first read this, I went, "Oh, poor Roland."
Yeah.
Look, this guy has lied about me. I don't know how many times. And Roland, I can play the same thing. I know what's in your heart. I know what's in your heart. You are an anti-gay bigot. I know what's in your heart. I don't know what's in your heart, Roland. I'm not going to play that game. I think you're a dope. I think that you have demonstrated yourself personally to be a very untrustworthy and bad man. But I could give you examples on how you feel about homosexuals. I have no idea. Is this just on the basic surface, just the dumbest thing anybody's ever done? I mean, what are you, 1975? I mean, you want to talk about progress? You haven't made any progress. I mean, I don't even know where you're coming from on this.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, by the standard the left has created, this would be a fireable offense.
Yes.
The question is whether that standard is legitimate.
That standard is not.
And it's not. It's not. It's one of those things where, I mean, even pragmatically for somebody like GLAAD, and I think we can speak to this as you're right. He's lied about you so many times you can't even count them. And he bashes conservatives and lies about them for a living. That is his job. But the point is, I don't want Roland Martin fired even from a strategic standpoint because of the fact that it's good for both GLAAD, to have Roland Martin as the opposition to gay people is good for gay people because it's the same thing that is good for conservatives. If you're going to have an idiot like that be your opposition, it's good for your movement. You want stupid people like that arguing on the other side.
I will tell you, the guy that you do want to be, I am so anti-homosexual, you want him to be wearing an ascot. You do, because everybody looks at him and goes, "Oh, geez, for the love of Pete, this guy's ridiculous. I don't want to be like that guy." I mean, they may turn their whole point of view around on any issue just because they don't want to be like him. However, can you turn on this clock for me, John? There's another one that GLAAD is, I think, rightfully taking on, and that is the Ellen DeGeneres nonsense that's happening with JCPenney's.
Well, yeah, there's some idiot conservative group is trying to get Ellen DeGeneres fired from the JCPenney ads. I guess because she's lesbian.
Can I ask you how that affects you?
Yeah,
how does that affect you?
I don't get that one either.
That doesn't make any sense. So now we're going to ban people. Listen to what that is. Mm-hmm. That's big government fascism on the other side.
Yeah, it is.
If you're saying you're not going to work because of who you sleep with, she's not out. She's not out. Saying, "Hey, come to JCPenney's because you might think lesbian is a great thing. She's not saying that. She's not like, hey, kids, come on down, be a lesbian with me. That's not what she's saying.
You know, buy a sweater.
Yeah.
What is the problem with that?
Ellen's likable. Buy her sweaters.
Yeah,
that's all
I
that is.
like Ellen.
I think most people do.
I mean, it's really, really bigoted to now. It's dangerous to now get into the territory of you can't have a job because you're a homosexual.
Yeah, can we stop with all this nonsense?
Can
we stop?
It's dangerous.
Stop worrying about who other people hire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, unless, government representative, I don't know, you're putting communists in the White House, start worrying about that one. How about that?
That's a good one to worry about.
That's a good one to worry about.
That's a legitimate one.
All right, let me. We're going to come back, and I'm going to show you something that also is legitimate, but nobody is paying attention. Now, you have to ask yourself. They're going after Ellen, who can handle herself. They're going after Roland Martin, who needs all the help he can get. But there's a really, really bad anti-gay story out there that is shocking in nature. And nobody seems to be carrying the water for this one. And I wonder why. Because this one's real, true hatred. We'll get into that set.
BECK.
Glenn Beck.
I want to play a story now. This is from Atlanta, and the audio on this has to be bleeped because of the FCC. I wish you could hear it in its unbleeped fashion because I think it deserves to be shocking. If it wasn't for the FCC, I'm not going to bleep anybody else's words out anymore. That they are intentionally choosing words. Why am I going to protect somebody who's using the N-word when they are intentionally using it? This is intentionally using a slur against homosexuals, and you should hear what they're saying and the reaction of the person that is videotaping.
And you should see the brutality of this video. It's really
been out for
disturbing.
It's been out for a few days. And it has made the rounds, but there's nobody really going after it. Now, a guy comes out of a store in Atlanta. He's African-American, and there are, 4 other African-Americans. One of them is filming it, and they start to beat on this guy. We'll go into this audio here in a second, but when you hear this and you see it, let's see if we can put it up on the Blaze real quick in the break. But when you see it, ask yourself this question. Why isn't this a front page story? Why isn't this on the news? Why isn't MSNBC on this? What is wrong with this video that no one is taking this on? Back in a minute.
Glenn Beck.
Mercury.
Round where be, let them know, B.
Jack City, no Faggots.
Let's say no faggots in Jack City. No faggots in Jack City. No faggots in Jack City. No faggots in Jack City.
In Atlanta, there is a story that the mainstream media would have feasted on this for a long time. And for some reason, I don't see the feeding frenzy on this particular story. And you have to ask yourself, why? Is it not offensive to homosexuals? Is it not dangerous to homosexuals?
Is it not a pretty clear-cut hate crime, which they love to sink their teeth into?
Total hate crime. Is the victim not really a victim? Was there any damage really done here? I mean, remember, GLAAD's going after Roland Martin for tweeting. The guy's a moron. Nobody listens to him. He has no circle of influence. I'm surprised he even had a tweet. Who's on it? His wife, maybe?
Yeah. I don't think most people even know who he is.
Yeah, they don't. Well, they know if you say he's the ascot guy.
Yeah.
But most people, you're right, don't even know who he is. So there's no circle of influence there. However, there is hatred growing on our streets. Bad hatred growing on our streets. And we're going to play some audio for you. A guy, there's, I think, 3 or 4 guys. One of them is videotaping. They're all African Americans, and they are waiting for somebody to come out of this store. And 2 African Americans come out of the store, and one of them it just starts getting beaten on. And I mean beaten badly, kicked, beaten. It's a very vicious beatdown. And I want you to hear what they're saying. And the friend is saying, like, this makes a difference. He's not gay. He's not gay. What are you doing? He's not gay. The friend doesn't do anything because the friend doesn't want to get beaten too. Because these guys are vicious. But listen to the laughter by the guy who is videotaping. Watch.
Young niggas, round 1.
Round where be? Let them know, B.
Jack City, no faggots.
Okay, what's happened here is that the guy has come out of the store, and he's been viciously attacked from behind and the side. And the guy just comes out of nowhere.
Just clips him.
Drills him to the ground. Right. And then they start beating and kicking him.
Let's say no f***ers in Jack City. No f***ers in Jack City.
As the beating continues.
No f***ers in Jack City. No f***ers in Jack City.
Now, where is anybody on this?
Obvious hate crime.
It's obviously a hate crime.
Homophobia. Obvious, just
hatred, brutality. The guy goes to the hospital. It's my understanding that he's fine now, but he was in pretty bad shape. A total beatdown. Has anybody been arrested? Where is the media on this kind of hatred? Where is the media on the hatred, the anti-Semitism, the real hate crimes on the streets?
Is there ignorance on this? Is everybody ignoring it just because the guys who did this are black? That's the only thing I can think of, because I can't help but think if these were 4 white guys beating up a black homosexual.
Imagine if this happened in Texas.
Oh my gosh.
And it just was 4 white guys on 1 white guy.
This would be the lead story on every newscast.
Every newscast forever.
Locally,
forever.
nationally, wouldn't matter. It'd be the lead story on every newscast.
It would brand whatever town it happened in as the
racist capital of the world.
Bigoted capital of the world. It would.
Homophobic.
Yeah.
Everything. So it's the only thing I can think of. And why? Everybody would be on this. The NAACP, GLAAD would be on this.
Everyone.
Obama would be on this.
Because
every decent person in America would be on this.
Okay, so I think that this is happening because it's, this is the old thing that, we all learned with Monica Lewinsky. These organizations don't stand for anything. They don't stand for anything. They stand for power. It is more important to go after Roland Martin than this one. Because Roland Martin, if you can control the media, if you can scare the media, this is what CARE learned. CARE learned this early on. Scare the media. There's a new story out about how Disney is thinking about doing an all-news channel. This is one of the most dangerous things I've ever heard. Disney ABC is doing an all-news channel. Disney doesn't give a flying crap about the news. They care about the mouse. Nothing happens on the news. Nothing happens on the network if it hurts the mouse. Is there a better example of somebody who can be hurt or can be purchased, can be bought off for their silence than Disney? Seriously. The president is giving a speech, and he decides to give it at the Magic Kingdom. Now think about how many customers saved for a year, save 2 years. Some of them save their whole life to go to Disney. And they can't go to the Magic Kingdom for a day because the president wants to give a speech. What is that? What? Who makes that policy? Because I want you to know, did anybody see that speech? Anybody within the sound of my voice see that speech?
I saw some of the pictures after it, but that's it.
That's it. It wasn't a
It was a speech on tourism.
Yeah.
Who
So
cares?
nobody's even paying attention to that.
Yeah.
So what company would possibly close their business down for a day?
No, when this guy comes and you want to, if you don't
have
want him
to.
targeting you, you do what he says.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
If you don't want him targeting you, you do what he says.
Exactly right.
That's the
You
policy.
don't want him targeting. Now, do you want somebody who doesn't want them targeting you running the news?
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, it's their right to do it, obviously, if they want to come up with a channel. but-
Absolutely.
yeah.
But you don't want somebody who is giving you the news to have a bigger business off the side that they just want to protect at all
We've
costs.
seen that with GE and NBC. Remember, they
Exactly
were,
right. They
hey,
don't
look how
care.
wonderful these light bulbs are that we
Yeah.
happen to sell.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. And I don't have a problem with GE selling light bulbs as long as they would have said this is a GE product. But they never said it was a GE product. When they were talking about they were talking about the bailouts. Who was the biggest recipient? One of the biggest recipients of a bailout? GE Capital. Who's one of the biggest recipients of funding, like the Solyndra funding? GE. GE makes all of this crap. You think you're going to listen to the light bulb people to talk to you about how we should have these new light bulbs? Why should we listen to we're going to get a fair and balanced discussion on the dangers of these fluorescent light bulbs from the light bulb people? Come on. It's ridiculous. And that's what our news has turned into. Now, if you're a news, for instance, what else does Fox do? Well, Fox has the Fox television network. But luckily for Fox, I believe Fox News makes more money than any of the other stuff. Doesn't it?
I don't know.
It's one of their biggest. I think it's one of their most profitable
it's pretty close.
divisions.
I think it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not positive on that. But Fox Entertainment bashes Fox News on a regular basis.
Right. And
Look what
yeah,
The Simpsons do to Fox News.
right. And so, you keep that separation between them. That's totally
Fox
fine.
Sports, same
but
thing.
once you care about the government coming in, and ABC, we know it. We know it. When CARE came into ABC with me, they went to Disney. They didn't go to ABC. They went to Disney.
Oh, yeah. When it winds up being like, yeah, you're right. Exactly.
We'll go to the park.
You got to sell air conditioners. You know what I mean? And it's,
You want to have a problem? We're not going to go boycott ABC. Who cares about ABC? We're coming to the park, and we're going to say you are a racist organization at the park. And Disney doesn't want any of that.
No.
So why is it these organizations aren't covering this? Why is it that GLAAD is going after Roland Martin? Why is it they're doing that? Because if you can continue to scare the media and control them, if you can even say to those on the left, don't get out of line. Don't you dare get out of line. You think you're a friend? You think you've done stuff for us? You haven't done anything for us. Don't you dare get out of line. Now, I'm not saying that that's the GLAAD thing. I'm just wondering, GLAAD is GLAAD. Let me just make this case again. Roland Martin's an idiot.
Right.
Nobody listens to him. You're making him into a bigger star.
What's more effective, too? I mean, to stop stuff like that. I mean, is it you go after Roland Martin again? This is what these groups do, and I understand that. But it's like, or have people like us coming out and saying he's an idiot. I mean, to me, I think it's much more effective to have people honestly analyze statements made like that.
Exactly right.
I'd rather have, even on the right, we've talked about this a million times. If someone on the right comes out and makes some racist comment, I don't want them to shut up. I want to call them out. And I want to say, this guy's an idiot and he has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly right. And when you have something like this in Atlanta, when you have this, come out and ask the questions, why is this not? If you have credibility on the real issues, and you're not just a power organization, you're not just trying to scare everybody, you're not just trying to get your own way or be a tool in somebody's chest like CARE is and like the National Organization of Women. That's just a tool. They're just operatives for some greater organization. One, the Muslim Brotherhood, the other one, the Democratic Party. If you're trying to be a tool, you lose. You lose. And your people lose, the people that you say that you're defending.
Yeah, but as much as they've obviously done stuff that's worth criticism, we've also said stuff. PETA has come out at times and criticized.
PETA's one of the only ones.
Yeah, they've come out and criticized Al Gore because of his stance of still eating meat, despite the fact that the United Nations, the same organization he always quotes, has says that eating meat is worse for the environment, worse for global warming than the entire transportation sector. Yet he continues to eat steak every day.
I disagree with the tactics of PETA, but PETA, one of the only honest ones out there.
They came out and they look. You might not like their stance on that stuff, and a lot of times I don't. But the bottom line is, if you're willing to, as a left-wing group, come out and criticize Al Gore, at least you have a little bit of credibility.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not the case. But GLAAD is criticizing a guy on the left here, so you do have that. I mean, Roland Martin
he's an idiot.
Yes, he's more of an idiot than a guy on the left.
Going back to he's an idiot. All right, here's our sponsor this half hour is